Yo, welcome back to Shonen Hustle. My name's Armand. No, we're here with a different scenery this time. I know it's been a minute. It's long awaited episode one that I know that it's been a minute since I actually recorded something. I think the last time I actually dropped the last episode was, I don't know, 7 months ago. I think so. It's like back in like September, August. I can't remember, but I know it's been a minute. It's long awaited. Part of me is like part of the procrastination. It's just a little bit of it, honestly, and part of the background setting. I know where I wanted to record has not always been available, so it's just like I don't know, kind of procrastination. Part of me wanting things to be perfect in a way. I guess you could say. I It's been in an area where my peoples have been using, not like for other stuff. It's just like a bunch of storage stuff has just been in the way. I just haven't been able to cord down there. But I know y'all probably wondering what's in my hand. I bought this for the shits and giggles. I know I wanted to use it for something, so why not use it for this? It'd be something good for good good use for it, I could say. But I know last time I spoken on here, I think it was before I started the semester at Bethel. Yeah, first semester went pretty cool. I didn't get to play basketball as I wanted to. I wasn't eligible to play, which is kind of sucks, but it wasn't too bad. I played like the first two games, even though I wasn't supposed to. You know, I don't know. It just didn't go as I wanted to exactly. What else has been going on? Um, Not much, honestly. It's been school, hitting the gym a little bit, trying to work on my craft. Basketball a little bit, trying to get shots up, and when I can, also been in school. Um, Little update on me. I mean, it's been just past the spring break, and I did go to Anime Con in Milwaukee, which is actually pretty fun. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of exhibits. They had a video game room, which I wish I didn't got to take pictures of it. I really didn't. It's actually pretty cool. Like different video games. They had PS5s, Nintendo, arcade games. Like it was a whole big exhibit for just full of gaming, which is pretty dope, honestly. All a bunch of old games and almost any games you could think of. Honestly, they had in there. It was pretty dope. Also went to my first comedy show last week. It was pretty fun. I don't know if any of you guys know Ralph Barbosa, but I went to go see him last week on Monday. I think it was pretty fun. Yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed myself. He's real funny. He also had a few other comedians that were his friends that were rode with him that were a part of the show. Were actually really good as well. That I enjoyed. Trying to think if there's anything else that I'm missing. Honestly, I don't know. I want to try and be more consistent with my podcast. I know that me is trying to be the perfectionist that I am and wanting it to be in the room I desired it to be in. But for right now, it's probably going to be in here. It's all further notice. Who knows? I might move it to a different setting. And actually, when I get some friends in here and actually talk on the podcast, we'll find out. But I know I've thought about it and made plans to do it, just haven't really executed them yet. But I know we're going to be on the move to be doing some better stuff, especially when I'm able to set stuff up where I want it to be. But on a second note, things I want to talk about. Things I want to talk about honestly on here is what anime has taught me. I feel like what anime has taught me a bunch. I feel like I've watched anime my whole life. I grew up on Beyblade and Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z a little bit, and I got older, started watching Naruto, Seven Deadly Sins. My boy Meliodas. What else was I watching? Hunter x Hunter. I feel like there's a couple other ones that I was missing that I was watching. They're actually really good. But I feel like there's something to take away from each one. I feel like each one that you watch. I feel like when it comes to Naruto, I feel like it's always, his perseverance and trying to keep moving forward and always trying to make new friends and impact people. and being there for your friends. I feel like that's something that's Naruto has always taught us. Even though he chased Sasuke most of the series, and even though he didn't want to be in the Leaf, which is kind of funny, but even though he came back on his own eventually, Naruto never really actually dragged him there. It's more of like he decided to, which is funny. But I feel like there's a lot that you could take away from that, especially from him growing as a kid and being obnoxious and growing up and being a leader and being respected by the whole village instead of being hated by the whole village. Which is honestly great to see. Um, one of my favorite anime is One Piece. One Piece, so many lessons. I feel like one thing I always take it back from One Piece is that Rubber always bounces back. I feel like Luffy always decides, he does lose a few matches, but he always bounces back. And every time when he do bounce back, he bounce back better. So like I feel like this just take away like when you do fail, you got to take a new perspective and bounce back. And also another thing to take away is always look at the journey that you take, the journey of life. Honestly, not always trying to take the shortcuts. It always reminds me of that one episode where all the Straw Hats were met Rayleigh for the first time, and they were trying to ask questions about the One Piece because Rayleigh obviously knows a lot about it, and Luffy wasn't trying to hear it. He wasn't trying to answer any questions. He said, I don't remember exactly what he said, but I just know he was mad. They were all asking questions because he didn't want to know anything. It would just ruin his journey, and I feel like I respected that. It's something to take away, definitely, because I feel like the journey is always more important than the goal. I feel like to me it was more important because like once you're at the goal, yes, you filled your goal, and then what's next? You know, yes, you're at the top, but like now what's at the top? It's like there's always room for improvement. I feel like, and I feel like that's part of the life journey that we always have to take. Also, another thing is also being there for your friends. I feel like the Straw Hat crew always find a way to be there for each other, even though when they have their own mental battles or issues, where they all went to go save Robin, or when they went to go save Sanji. Like it just goes hand in hand. And in the very beginning, when Nami was in trouble with Arlong, like it goes hand in hand from like being there for your friends and being there for the people that you love and they care about. It's just like it's really something to take a piece of because at the end of the day, your friends are gonna be there for you. And the ones that are probably gonna impact you the most more than your family does. Because it's like who you surround yourself around. You surround yourself around good people or bad people. And usually when you surround yourself around those things, you come absorbed with those things. So it's just like you pick the good friends that you do have. I feel like something to take care of. Another anime I also really like is Hunter x Hunter. I know I watched Hunter x Hunter probably around the same time I watched Naruto, a little bit after. And it was like I don't know during like high school for me. So like it was just Bailey to take upon like I think Killua and Kurapika are definitely my favorite characters. And I love Going to Death, but like he wasn't my favorite character. It's just because like he that wasn't his fault, but like the way they made him towards the end of the series, he's very revengeful, and all because he's seen death. I feel like it just made him like his humanity broke once he couldn't figure out why they were doing what they were doing. I feel like, but like he didn't understand it and resorted to anger and just resorted to being less having I don't know, like losing his mind, basically you can say. I don't know. There's a word I'm looking for. I cannot think of right now. Dehumanization, you can say. I don't know, but like I love Killua a lot more because he came from a family that was full of assassins and full of death, and he found more life and humanity as he met Gon, and Gon kind of lost his, which is I felt I hate that they did that to him, but like it's it's whatever. But like Kurapika, Kurapika, I've always liked because he's always stayed the same. Like Yes, he's always filled with revenge and because of his clan and so on and so forth. Hey, that's what you want to do. Be my guest. It gives Sasuke a little bit, just a little bit. It gives Sasuke. I feel like, and that's probably another reason why I love him because Sasuke is my favorite character from Naruto, honestly. And then another anime. Let's see, there's a bunch. There's so many I've watched. Recently, I've been watching Attack on Titan, and I didn't watch Attack on Titan when it first came out. I don't know why, but I've watched it recently, like the past couple months, and I'm almost finished with it. Like a few more episodes left I have, and I've honestly loved it. Well, I've honestly loved it, honestly. And one thing I would take from it is, oh my goodness, there's so much to take away. Like the first thing that comes to mind is like the world isn't what it seems when you seem it to be. People that you think that you're closest are honestly your enemy. And like it reminds me of that quote of um keep your friends close but keep your enemies closer. And it's like watching that show and thinking of that and just like damn. Because this shit's all flip flop and it was just crazy because I was not expecting it. I'm not gonna go too into it because who knows if y'all have seen the ending or not. But I'm not gonna get into it. Maybe spoiler for some people. Trying to think what else. Another anime I think so. That comes to mind is Tokyo Ghoul. I mean, I watched Tokyo Ghoul last year, and I really liked it a lot. One thing I liked about it, it was just um, the main character's like his curiosity, his curiosity for ghouls. I feel like at first, and then he became one, and then like it was like a whole mental disorder that went on in that whole series. I feel like three different characters, a lot of stuff going on. At first, I couldn't keep up. When season three dropped, I'm like, "What is this?" At first, I didn't keep up with it. At first, it took me a couple episodes. I'm like, "Oh, that's Kawaki, not Kawaki, Kaneki. It's the wrong name." Um, but yeah. Um, what else? There's also Fairy Tale. I really enjoy Fairy Tale too. Theirs is more about the journey and the adventure too, kind of like One Piece. It's just one of those adventure animes I just love, and the friendship and stuff, and how they fight for each other. It's just real sweet. I like stuff like that for some reason. I don't know, being there for your friends and for your people. I guess it's just part of the loving person that I am, just wanting to be there for others and wanting to help out as much as I can. I feel like, hmm. Another thing when it comes to mind that I want to talk about on here is that I feel like lately God has really been on my side. He's been helping me. I feel like as much as I try and pray and read my Bible and try to, be closer to God, and I feel like it's helped me through the harder times and the harder days that I've tried to go through, especially when I feel like there's days when I don't have no one to talk to. But hey, just life, isn't it? I feel like we all go through those lonely days and those hard days where God is the only one that helps us to push us through it. I feel like one thing else I wanted to say on here is that what's has helped me like through the harder times. I feel like in the harder days, just like being consistent in the things that I do love. I feel like going to the gym when I don't feel like it, or going to play basketball when I don't feel like it, or like going to do stuff when I don't feel like it, or like my body hurts, doing it tired, doing it sore. I feel like those are the times that help you push through and make you stronger. It's like doing those things, and after like yeah, you may hate it in the moment, but after like you feel good because it's like you achieve that goal. Because like one thing I think about is that what doesn't kill you or break you makes you stronger. I feel like, and that goes for so much because you're gonna be hurt mentally, physically, emotionally, and I feel like it's just how you recover from it, and how you heal from it. It's just the way that you bounce back, and I feel like the healing journey is always the most important because it's what shapes and molds you from back to where you were, even from a sprained ankle or a broken heart or a mental discovery that just changes your whole thought process. I feel like we all go through those things. You realize something about yourself or the thing that you do, and you like have to sit back, like, dang, I really do that, or I really did do that to that person, and like you just think back on the things that you did do, and just make you almost self-reflect and self-regulate on the things that you do every day, things that you say to people. Because I know I do. I I overthink about it a lot. The things that I say to people, the things that I do, or like maybe I should have said that differently, or maybe I should have said something, or like it goes on and on. I feel like when it comes to social interactions, like I feel like I overthink them a lot, but I feel like that just makes what makes us human, because I feel like a lot a lot of it has to do with social interaction, and when we don't have it as much as we used to compared to like 20 years ago, and compared to now, everyone looks at a bunch of screens, and most of the time you walk past someone, they're looking at their phone, or they have their headphones in, or or something. Nowadays people don't walk by and say hello to somebody or whatever. Most of the time they just keep it pushing and try to get to their destination, which I feel like that's where you miss the journey. That is where that is where you miss the journey. What the heck? What the heck? Oh my goodness. That is where you miss the journey. Because like you could walk past, you don't know, whoever. I think I've seen it reminds me that I remember seeing something that an average person walks past like 8 serial killers in their life, or some shit like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it just poof. I'm just like, yeah, you don't know who you could be walking past. Because I know sometimes I've been walking past some people, and I tried, like, I know I'm not the most extroverted person, but I feel like lately I've wanted to and tried to be nice to people and actually saying hello, because I feel like growing up I've always had this RBF on my face, and people didn't speak to me. I'm like, why don't people speak to me? Well, Armand, you look mad all the time. So it's just like it's just like, yeah. So that's why I try to smile more and try to say hello to people when I do walk by them. But most of the time, it makes me think like I regret it. Like smile at people, people just give me a side eye, say hello, you don't get no backs. But like, I feel like that's just how it goes. I feel like that's just rejection. I feel like when you put yourself out there, you're gonna get rejected, no matter what. Even if it's social rejection by normal people. Like you try people, like you walk past them, you try to acknowledge them, and they don't acknowledge you. I'm just like, okay, buddy, it's a waste of my time. It's not even like I'm trying to make your day better. It's just having the social interaction sometimes is nice. You ever thought about that? It reminds me of the time when I deliberately walked past and smiled at a worker who's working, and she just looked at me. I'm like, okay, bitch. Last time I doing that. I hope you have a wonderful day. Fuck you. But, but man, I feel like that's just how it goes sometimes. Not me ranting about social interactions, but like sometimes I feel like people are the reason why I am introverted, because it's like, yeah, I be wanting to speak to y'all, but just sometimes I'm just like, what's the freaking point? Y'all just blow me sometimes. People do blow me. And it's honestly funny. One thing that came to mind is like when I said something about being consistent. I say being consistent, also like being consistent with God, because I feel like we know God is always an option. He's always going to be there for us. So like I feel like we'd always forget that He's there and He's always watching. Because I feel like there's times where, excuse me, I feel like there's times where I should have resorted to God sooner, or should have spoke to Him sooner, and maybe think about the choices that I've been making a lot sooner, and it wasn't shaping me to who I wanted to be and wanted to be. Because I feel like as I get older, I find more things about myself. And it's mainly because I know I grew up very stubborn growing up. I'm not gonna lie, not wanting to take advice from other people, just because me thinking I know best because it's my life. But it doesn't mean you can't take advice from other people in their lives and their experiences. So it's just like when you talk about things with other people and they give you an experience from from their past, and you get frustrated about it because it's not what you wanted to hear. It's just so stupid to me. I feel like I did that a lot, to be honest. And it's not that I couldn't take it; it's just not what I wanted to hear, which is kind of rude, honestly. When the people that sometimes is trying to be there for you, and I feel like lately I haven't had much people to talk about the things when I do want to rant about something random or like stuff like that. I feel like the times that I have actually want to talk about something emotional lately, I haven't been able to. Maybe like the past, like, I don't know, year or so since I've been single. I haven't really had that much of a emotional intimacy with anyone else. I feel like, which I guess is an eye opener to like how much did I do miss it and how much I did enjoy talking with another person about emotional stuff, even though like what bothered me, what doesn't bother me, especially when it's them trying to figure out what does and do not bother me, is also quite interesting. But I feel like that's just a part of the what's the word? I know part of the thing of like getting to know your partner, learning about what makes them tick. I feel like, oh my goodness, it reminds me. It reminds me of a famous Gon quote from Hunter x Hunter. Gon said, he said, you won't be able to understand a person unless you know what makes them upset or makes them mad. And I remember that because he said that I think season 1. I can't remember. It was season early. It was like season 1 or 2. I can't remember, but remember he dropped a dime on that when he said that. That has stuck with me. There's a lot of quotes that do sometimes stick with me. There's a key little quote too. What did he say? What did he say? He said it during the temple. I could see like the TikTok anime edit in my head, but I just cannot figure out the words are. He said something like, um, if you know the game, don't something. I can't remember. I know I'll remember it later and look it up, but damn it. I cannot remember what it was, but I know that is something another quote that I do. He said, if you know the game, then don't panic. That's what it was. Don't panic. Oh my goodness. And it also reminds me of don't hate the player, hate the game. Because like the game of life. And we all are living this life. And I feel like we all are players. You can't hate another player for the life they're living. Whoa. I'm on dropping quotes. Quote it. Whoa. No, that was fire. I didn't even mean to do that. But trying to find something else that I wanted to speak about on here. I mean, I always talk about basketball, but like, I mean, the way how my basketball is going for me, I know I've been trying to train and be consistent with it because I know I'm going to try and play for Bethel reserves in the fall. Hopefully, I'm gonna be able to make the team this year because last year that's mainly because of my eligibility stuff and my grades for my transfer schools, which actually kind of suck. Is the way they did it because I barely missed the cut, and I know I'd have made a great addition to the team because I feel like I was starting to make great chemistry with everybody else, and then took Armand out. He wasn't able to play anymore. Just a practice player, which wasn't too bad. Mainly to just stay in shape and try to get the little bit of experience. I'm trying to think. If there's anything else I'm missing. I don't know. My birthday's coming up this next month. Yeah, I don't have anything planned for it necessarily other than getting a tattoo. I'm not gonna tell y'all what it is because if you know what it is, y'all know what it is. But I'm gonna show it when I do. When I do get it and drop an episode, definitely have to show that because that shit's gonna be fire. I can't wait for it. It's definitely gonna be my favorite piece that I have when I do get it. Mm-hmm. Click. That was my Snailtron. Thanks. Yep. Sorry. Just stimming a little bit, but I think for the most part, that's just what I got for today because I can't think of any other anime that has really impacted me. I know I talked about Beyblade in the beginning, and Beyblade is mainly like I grew up on Beyblade, and like it was more of like an adventure anime. I don't know, Jingo trying to find his dad, and I watched that very young, so like it's hard for me to try to remember because I remember I watched it when it was coming out. Like I watched it from Saturday to Saturday. I was watching brand new episodes, spanking new. So to go back and rewatch it, eesh, I don't think I can do it. The parts of it's cringy. I know that for sure because I know I've tried to watch it before and I started bursting out laughing because sometimes some of it's cringy for some reason, but it's honestly really funny. I know lately I've been trying to watch. I'm finished Attack on Titan. Next, I'm probably gonna get into the excuse me, my goodness. Next, I'm trying to get into Vinland Saga, which I've heard good things about. I know it's a very you could say gory vulture anime. You could say that I've heard. I know I've seen clips and a little bit about it, but I don't know too much about it. I know last person I heard watch it, it was a female, and I remember, I remember she told me when she was watching she couldn't finish it because she didn't like how gory it was and how violent, which is fair, which I find funny. But me personally, I like stuff like that, so I think it would be just my cup of tea. Yep. Sorry, that was corny. I think the last thing I remembered I want to talk about was everyone will have their own interests. Like even though everyone will find their own interests, I should say, good or bad. I feel like even if it's like sometimes people find interest in substance abuse or they find a good interest in reading or something that actually like it helps them to cope. I feel like, and I feel like when you find things that help you cope is when they turn into bad things on how you use them. I feel like because if finding the new interests is always good, but it's just always how you use them because too much of anything can honestly ruin you of how you use it. Just like how water is good for you, eating right is good for you. But eat too much of that one thing, it could mess you up, honestly, because you need like a balance. You need a balanced diet. You need fruits and veggies and water, and protein and grain and all stuff like that. I feel like you overuse one substance or one food, it's just what um is what breaks you down, as I want to say. And that goes for anything. I feel like, and I feel like that's something I've especially had to take away. I feel like the only thing that you can't do too much of is read. I don't know. I feel like that's the only thing. It's like a couple things that like reading and writing. I feel like it's the only things you can't do too much of, where it would honestly punish you or hurt you. I guess writing you can get carpal tunnel or whatever, arthritis in your fingers or some bull like that. But like from reading, I don't know. Maybe go blind. Eye soreness. I couldn't tell you. Who knows? I'm gonna have to double back on that one and look that up. And after someone who's hurt themselves or whatever, cause some type of pain or injury just from reading too much, using our eyes too much in that sort of manner. I feel like I don't know, but yeah, I guess that's something to look back on. I'm gonna think about that one. Can reading really hurt somebody? I think that's what I'm gonna take from this episode. Maybe you guys should too, but I think that's all I have here today. I can't think of anything else that I can think of. But all right, I'm gonna head out here, you guys. All right, from zero to hero. From next time, stay shonen. Peace.